Good evening. I'm Dr. Mitchell Palmer-McDonald.
And I'm Charles Hallman, and welcome to Blacklight on Sports.
This evening, we are going to interview Suzanne Gilreath, former Fridley High School basketball standout and University of Wisconsin standout, who is currently an account executive with the Minnesota Lynx. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. I can't complain. I'm thankful to be here in this space. Very honored to just be here to share my story and talk about my life and get and gain inspiration and motivation.
Okay, yeah, and that's where we want to start. Talk about your journey. From talking to you earlier, it's been quite a journey for you at such a young age. But just talk about your talk about your life. Talk about how you got involved with basketball, and then what else you want to do with that.
Yes, I started playing ball like in fourth grade, but I started playing with the boys in the front yard. That's where I started to gain my confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Started beating them a lot, and I was like, I'm really good at this game. So I started going to the rec center, like practicing my game, implementing
Mm-hmm.
the things that I saw. So watching a lot of YouTube, like watching a lot of Stephen Curry, a lot of just YouTube on basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Found my groove and just kept going with it. So I started getting offers as I started playing AU ball with Patrick Adams and
Okay.
the Charity Warriors,
Yeah.
and they started to be called the Minnesota Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
So I started playing with them, and that's where I started playing with Andre Adams. And I saw how dope she was. Like she was really cold on the court, like
Yes.
killing everybody. So we started to play the number one team in the country, and the girl was committed to Rutgers at the time, and I was guarding her. And Bobby Kelsey was on the sideline watching me,
Okay.
and called Patrick Adams, my AU coach at the time. Called him and was like, I want to, see her play. I want to offer her.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother was playing at Wisconsin at the time,
Okay.
so it was some chemistry there already. So she offered me my 10th grade year, and I got offered from IUPUI,
Mm-hmm.
University of Toledo, University of Illinois Chicago, which I ended up going there to get my master's at University of Illinois Chicago.
Oh, okay. So after you got done with Wisconsin, you
Yeah,
went there.
I went there, but I went on to play at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. That's where I went to go play my 4 years, where I studied communications,
Okay.
and I was a part of different organizations, but one of them was called SASO, that stands for Student Athletes Equally Supporting Others.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different organization, but I was the president of this organization, and so we advocated for those that didn't have the voice. That Women's History Month, Colin Kaepernick kneeling, and we really had a lot of events on like a lot of the um, popular topics or politics happening in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really great. I had a really good time at Wisconsin. But all in all, I think it was the basketball side could have been better.
Mm-hmm.
And transparency, I dealt with a lot of mental health after the fact.
Okay.
But it was a time. I always leave with attitude, gratitude, Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have a bitter or spiteful mind, but I know in reality this is my experience.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think like overall I had a really good time and learned a lot about myself, the world, people, um, and not just to be able to communicate in one ethnicity with multiple different people. So I try to just keep my Wi-Fi door open and just keep, staying steady, just keep learning. Wisconsin taught me a lot how to be inquisitive,
Mm-hmm.
how to be empathetic towards people, how to, really be about yourself. Like never leave anything on the table. Like you have everything in you, and just keep going.
Do you think you have as a black woman, do you think you have responsibility um to provide or present yourself as a role model for other young and aspiring black women?
Yeah, I feel like if you can see it, you can do it, you can believe it. All those things happen. So I think like I'm definitely a representation or I am someone that people look up to.
Okay.
Yeah, cause I feel like even in the community, like people are like when I go hoop,
Mm.
yeah, you're famous. Like everybody knows you. Like you're really good. Like you Suzanne. Like you really came up and was really the example. And like it's even working with the Lynx, I had True Pettigrew was speaking on some DEI. I forgot what he was talking about, but I rose my hand. I was like, I'm the only black woman in the Lynx role. I was like, I'm the only black woman that's in the Lynx department. And it was just like, whoa, for them. It was an eye opening for them.
Mm-hmm.
So the Lynx ended up hiring another black woman. But I definitely feel like I represent a lot every day. Every day I walk into the office, every day I walk and wake up and dress nice and present myself at games.
Mm-hmm.
People, messaging me on LinkedIn, and I think it's just like, yeah, I now see myself as a woman that is like really making impact.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see that coming when you were younger? Like when you were in high school, did you have that vision?
Not necessarily vision, but people saw it in me.
Okay.
They saw like that I was like a very impactful individual, and like every person that I see around me I touch.
Mm,
And I always try to leave the first impression, the last impression.
okay.
So I try to just be as loving and kind and just be myself. I've experienced times where I was not myself. And that was during like 2020 period
Mm-hmm.
where I was dealing with a lot of mental health, and people saw it. Like people saw it in me, like I said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
People saw it in me, so they saw how great I was, and when I was off of it, like I was not like myself per
Mm-hmm.
se. So that's not Suzanne. They named it, and they let me know, and I appreciate that. And those times really molded me to be who I am today. Like I wouldn't be as successful, and I'm still prospering. I still have a lot to learn.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say I want to be inquisitive and stay inquisitive because I just have a lot to learn, and I never want to stop being able to and make impact, but also breathe knowledge.
Okay.
What brought you to the Minnesota Lynx? A lot of people don't know it's not just basketball.
Mm.
There's things that goes on in that organization that makes it work. And you work with sales, or you work with people
Yep.
to sell the product.
Right.
What led you to be there? Did you ever see yourself as being a salesperson?
Yeah.
If that's a if that's a term to use.
I say saleswoman because I think a lot of saleswomen. There's not a lot of sales women in this space, or you'll say that like it's male dominated. So I think
Mm,
like I don't know. I was a graduate assistant at the University of Illinois Chicago for a year and a half, and while there, my head coach got fired, so I had to transition and pivot a little bit. And which is crazy. I think this is the best part of my GA experience that I love so much about Tasha Pointer, who now coaches at Rutgers, who's like the all-time leading scorer at Rutgers.
mm-hmm.
I was a GA under her, and like she allowed me to do a lot of different things. Like I had so much autonomy to do like player development, to do scouting reports, diagram plays, like all that is still in my bag. Like if I want to go college coach now, I can easily go do it, and I'm considering it big time. But I GA with her, and she told me when she got fired, which I think is the biggest thing that I learned, at your lowest, you can still love people. And she loved me to the point where she's like, go to the athletic director and go to the associate athletic director and go see if they can honor your degree so they can help you finish your degree out. So I did a GA ship with the business administration department at UIC. So I did that for like 6, 7 months
Mm-hmm.
until I graduated, and I got a chance to finish my degree up while doing that. So I got a chance to learn the business side a little bit, not a whole lot. But then my brother, it's crazy. I used to apply for a bunch of account executive jobs. I had it in my notebook when I came home after moving back from Chicago, and so I already had written it down, manifested in a way. Um, but not necessarily I didn't know I was gonna be here. I didn't know where I was gonna be. I thought in 2020 when the pandemic happened that I'd be hooping still. But the
Okay.
pandemic hit, and I was like, there was nobody really signing. I went through my own mental health where I was struggling, I was shaking, couldn't really sleep, was going
Mm-hmm.
back and forth to myself like, do I want to go play? Do I want to get a job? I got my dad on my back, got my brother on my back. They both tell me two different things. So I had a lot of decisions to make, and being overwhelmed, it was just like it wasn't the best fit for me. But it's okay. I took my time. I ended up coming back home after my GA ship and applied for the Lynx job. Saw it opened up, so I applied and have been there for like a year and 6 months. But I've been learning a lot about the business side, how to really sell a product, how to upsell a product, how to learn about people, how to storytell, how to paint a picture, how to really get people to open up and really, you know, learn more about what they're interested in, and then, recommend your product and suggest whatever you feel um, is best for like a group, a flex, a single game ticket, or a full season membership, like all that stuff. Yeah.
I have we've seen the growth of women's basketball accelerate 8 times fold in the last 3 or 4 years, and especially in the last couple of years. How much has that helped you in terms of selling the product of the links?
Yeah, that's a good question. Uh, you drive a lot of revenue when you have some great like women's basketball players playing. Caitlin Clark, Maya Moore, injuries. Like Simone Augustus. A lot of these players have always like I feel like when it comes to like technology and stuff like that. Um, Now the growth of women's basketball has become visualized. So now it's being televised and people are able to see it now. So now they're seeing Caitlin Clark now being represented. But imagine if all this television would have been represented with Maya Moore would have been playing.
Yeah,
I think like that. Like I
we've
give
talked
Caitlin,
about that.
yeah, I give Caitlin Clark a lot of credit. I believe in her talent, but I think imagine if we had what is being now shown, then I think so. I don't know. Even during my time of 2016 to 2020, like I was killing it. Imagine if I would have had all that time and publicity and just stardom, man. I feel like I would have been in the league right now with Kelsey Mitchell, because me and Kelsey Mitchell used to go back and forth.
Yeah.
She scored three, I hit a three.
Yep.
She hit three, I hit three. Like we used to go back and back, but I go back to my time at Wisconsin. It wasn't the greatest. He didn't put me in a position to be successful,
Okay.
and I'm being transparent. Like I wish he'd have been able to put me in my position, the right thing to do, and I would have been able to thrive a little more. But
Like,
it's cool.
did he recruit you?
No, he
Okay.
called me one day after he got hired and wanted me to come play for him, so I sure did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's kind of how it went down.
Mm.
But yeah, I think that the drivenness of women's basketball has definitely become very popularized, and I think it's growing a lot exponentially and it's growing very quickly. I think there'll be a lot of WNBA teams, being a part of the WNBA and the expansion, as you can see with San Francisco and a lot of different teams expanding. So yeah, I think it's been great. I think it's helping drive ticket revenue and getting people in their butts, their butts in their seats. People are wanting to pay whatever they can to see Caitlin Clark, to see Angel Reese, to see Kate Martinson. So it's like it's crazy. You can only imagine. You can only think about how many people are buying $5,000 tickets just to see a player.
Yeah, yeah. Who would have seen that coming?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Now, how much has the Valley Sports North issue not being on Comcast uh, has hurt this team in visibility? Both the Twins and Lynx are contracts on there, but nobody can see them unless you have satellite or you have streaming.
Yeah,
Has that been how much of an impact that been, or has it been measurable yet to be able to see what kind of impact that's had?
yeah. I can't speak too much on it. I'm not like with Valley Sports North, but I think imagine if we did have so much coverage, people would be able to see it. Just like professional soccer, they're televised on all these streaming platforms, so you're able to access it more accessible. But I think if you do have it televised, people will be more in love with women's basketball.
Mm-hmm.
People will be like, "Oh, I love watching the FIFA play. I love seeing, um, Jonquel Jones, like all these starting players." If you ever see, you can, as I mentioned earlier, like if you can see, you can believe it. So it's not being televised. Able to really see too much of what is going on. So you obviously can see it on social media, but like if you are watching TV with family, you want to see a WNBA team playing. It's the Sparks versus the Sky on ESPN. Like we need those really big new ESPN, ESPN2. Like we need all these platforms to really start coverage in women's sports. Not just the NBA, but the WNBA too, so they can get more money.
Mm-hmm.
You can get now we're getting charter flights. Stuff like that. So it's important to really start to really talk about it. And a lot of players are talk about it. Kyrie, see Kevin Durant, obviously Kobe was a big one, but a lot of people are really starting to talk about the WNBA and see how great women's sports are and can be.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Who are some of the people as you look back that have influenced you?
Yeah, it's crazy. I was journaling about that like a couple weeks ago. I was like, as I keep rising, as I am
Mm-hmm.
still, learning about myself and still being successful as I am, there's a lot of people that have impacted me. I was sharing with my parents for one, like my mom,
Mm-hmm.
Susie, she's from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So my mom and dad, David, they met in Atlanta.
Okay.
My parents, I see they raised me so well. My dad, he taught me a lot about basketball.
Mm-hmm.
We had like car rides where we just sit and talk about hoop. But then he also inspired me during those car rides.
Mm-hmm.
He'd preach at me. Man, I wouldn't really have to say, I wouldn't say too much. I just listened. And then my twin would be journaling in the back about it. But my
Mm-hmm.
parents, man, they installed a lot in me. Um, I really wouldn't be where I am without them. My dad
Okay.
still to this day texts me, Skywalker, I'm proud of you and I love you. Oh man, it could make me tear up thinking about it. But cause he always texts me, checking on me. He know how much I've been through, mental health wise, so he tries to keep me steady and afloat. Like don't get too down on the speed bumps,
Okay.
but just keep going, keep going. My parents have taught me a lot. My mom too, Susie,
Mm-hmm.
I call her Big Sue, cause she a funny person. She be teaching me a lot too. My parents, my psychologist, my therapist I had
Mm-hmm.
at Wisconsin, Dr. Ramel Smith, Sheridan Blanford. She's works at the University of Washington in
Okay.
their D&I department.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I got Alonzo Tucker, I got my brother David, my sister Suzette. I got a lot of people, Princess Austin, like I got a lot of people that have poured into me,
Mm-hmm.
have given me experiences, have talked to me. Elena Tucker always told me about my 5 pillars, my board of trustees. Like just small things that I've learned from these people. My brother David always talks about the small victories.
Mm-hmm.
I just think like a Princess Austin has told me about it's in me. Small quotes that I take away from people
Mm-hmm.
have taught me a lot that I hold still in me as I keep, moving up and making impact, as I talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never want to stop making impact on people. So if I can get influence, I'll influence you, and we can do vice versa. Just make an impact and being on a positive note with everybody, and always trying to be that positive light.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of know. I kind of noticed that when we met.
Yeah,
That's
good
how. That's how
people,
we did. Just kind of just out of the blue, and then we just started talking. So
good people.
Yes, I under. I mean, I get that totally.
Yeah,
Um.
it's like a
What?
deja vu.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's cool.
What are you're young,
Sure,
and I know you have,
26.
more, you're 26.
Yeah,
Um, what are some, do you have any other goals that you're thinking of achieving or?
yeah. We talked a little bit earlier offline, but man, I've broken some records. Like I want to coach again. I think I have a passion for coaching, for like just playing basketball. I felt my mom always taught. She told me, "Show you got OCD." I think I do because I really like I even with the game of basketball, like how the way I perfected my shot.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody, yeah, like I really worked so hard, and the amounts of work that I put in to break that 3-point record that I hold,
Mm-hmm.
294.
Mm-hmm.
I was chasing it. I was pursuing it. I don't really like to say chasing. I like to pursue.
Mm-hmm.
But I pursued that record real hard and I beat it. But if I can go back into coaching, maybe I have my own business too.
Yeah. Well,
It's called the Journal Journal.
mm-hmm.
It stands for the Journey Observing Revealing Now. And it's a mental health crisis prevention journal. It's built to make and help people process their emotions. Not many people, when I struggled with it in 2020, my sister would ask me, like, what am I going through? I couldn't name it.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't name nothing, but I now can name things and identify and figure out what my triggers are. But a lot of people don't understand that people go through mental health every day, and everybody needs a friend. So, I want to be able to build that up with my twin, start my podcast up, um, have my own basketball training business back up again.
Okay.
I started that back in 2020,
Mm-hmm.
so I want to do that again. I got a lot of stuff that I want to do. I ain't gonna speak on it a whole lot,
Mm-hmm.
but it's gonna happen as time goes on. I feel I give myself a lot of time. I try to at least give myself time and patience to just let everything just flow in.
Okay.
So I got a lot of things that I want to do. I just try to stay patient, and my mom has taught me that word patient a lot.
Um, what as you look back on um your basketball,
Mm,
um, what are a couple of highlights or something that happened that you remember that you'll never forget, or maybe where you learned something, or it just could be a good game you had.
yeah, yeah.
know.
There's a lot of different moments, but I
Mm-hmm.
think um, ooh, I got so many moments. I don't even know. I think me hitting the game, almost a game winner against Maryland, against Diamond Miller. I
Okay.
got to step back against her. Boom, boom, boom. Step back, bang. And my coworkers Hector and them,
Mm-hmm.
they always brag about it to the fans, to my
Mm-hmm.
members, to anybody they talk to. They like, "See, they gotta step back against Diamond Miller." Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite moments. Playing at Ohio State, that's my favorite arena to play in.
Okay.
Ohio State. High school, I say probably beating that record for 294 threes in a season.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of threes.
You got that right.
That ain't just one. That's
Yeah.
294. I said, what? So I think that's like one of my greatest moments, and just
Okay.
some of my smaller like appreciative moments are being at Zanewood Recreational Center.
Okay.
And those small moments of me just putting in the work.
Okay.
Nobody knows how much work I put in with basketball, so that's why
Mm-hmm.
I have so much heart for it, and that's why I want to give back to it. And as I am getting clarity, as I get clarity, coaching comes back to me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I feel like it's demanding, it's a lot of time, I think that's where my heart lies. So I think I want to coach and just do all that fun stuff with coaching, cause I'm really good at it. And I was coaching at St. Louis Park this past year, and them young girls were good people, good.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a lot of challenging times.
Mm-hmm.
So I just found that I was at Chanhassen one game, and I was on the bench just coaching, and I was like, I gotta do this. I could do it. Because they're looking at me like I'm the head coach. The way I dress, the way I talk, the way I
Mm-hmm.
walk, the way I teach. They're looking at me like I'm the head coach. I was like, I gotta do this. I know it's meant for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up doing that maybe at the high school or college level.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Who
Yeah.
was your coaching philosophy? Who was your coaching influences? And what is your bedline, bedrock coaching philosophy?
I like that. Patrick Adams was my first.
Yeah.
He touched my heart, man. He used to crack me up. I used to be in the gym just really before and after practice. Everybody know I used to be at the free throw line after practice. And they used to always want to beat me, but they couldn't beat me because they knew I was putting that work in. But my work ethic is nonstop. Like I said, I probably have OCD because
Mm-hmm.
I'm constantly going, learning. It don't stop. So Patrick Adams was one. Tasha Pointer,
Mm-hmm.
Maya McCurdy, Craig Carter. Man, these some great people. As I think about it, this is good. This is good that you asked me these questions because I never really thought about it either. But Patrick Adams was my first one because he taught me how to really be a defensive guru, like how to really lock somebody up.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. It used to be so fun. Ooh, I think about the moments. Hey, he used to be like, Suzanne, you are the best player. He used to put me in the best player. I used to lock her up. So it took me. I'll give you an example. It took me hard with my head coach at Wisconsin, Sippis. It was like I didn't play defense. It threw me back because Sippis knew I could defend and guard and shoot and score on anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But it was trying to throw me off my grind and
Mm-hmm.
my cycle of knowing that I'm confident. So I didn't let it stop me, but Patrick Adams, Tasha Pointer, man, she taught me how to play the street way. I knew how to do it playing with the boys back then,
Mm-hmm.
but she taught me at the professional level, at the college level, how to really pick a pocket the the matchup zones, the 2-3
Mm-hmm.
zones, how
Mm-hmm.
to eat them up. Oh man, at a GA, I learned so much, like how to find that pace And I remember one practice, we were at Youngstown State, and she told me, she's like, Suzanne, if you had this pace at Wisconsin, you'd be dangerous. I said, man, boy, I swear. So I feel like TP taught me a lot, like how to just really find that how to have administration behind your back at the college level, how to really have people. I used to be in the office before her at like 5:36,
Mm-hmm.
and she be like, Sam, what you up so early? I got a diagram plate, I got to cut up film, I gotta, help with the scouting report. So I'm up as early as you are. I gotta help alleviate some of your problems, some of your tasks, so you're not like super rushed before games and frustrated. So yeah, those are kind of some of the good people. And like Maya McCurdy, she taught me play development, how to really break down workouts. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. And I know as I speak into manifestation, I think I want to get into play development with coaching though specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it was that, it's play development or something with basketball operations. Like college coaching would be cool in that sense of like assistant coach.
Yeah.
But if it's NBA, WNBA, like play development operations. So I just had to jump to that. But yeah, those are kind of the great people that have impacted me, and um, they check in with me from time to time. I check in with them from time to time, but I'm still learning a lot. And that's why I try to watch a lot of basketball and just a lot of stuff, podcasts, I journal. I like to listen to a lot of music. I'm a big music person too. But I'm an R&B type of gal.
Mm-hmm.
I like R&B, so yeah.
Oh yeah, so do we.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite R&B?
Ooh, new or old?
Well, it's, for you, it has to be new. For me,
Okay.
it's old.
Okay, I can do both. I say, oh, Anita Baker.
Okay.
And then new. The first person that popped up in my head was Kalani, but I also like um Lucky Day. I like, Hallie, who's a really nice
Mm-hmm.
new upcoming artist.
Mm-hmm.
I like a little hip hop too, so it's a little mixture of all those like jazz, R&B, house music type of deal.
Man. I'm trying to think. As you've already talked about, you know, the different things that you want to do. Um, what advice would you give anyone that wants to kind of follow your path or kind of get involved with um, with basketball and with sports?
Yeah, I'll go two directions with this. If you want to be a hooper,
Mm-hmm.
I can say you gotta put the work in. Like there's the tedious things, the ball handling, the shooting, the reps that you gain, they won't be not used. They'll be used. You look at it in that lens, like everything's a stepping stone. And my dad always teaches me that. Skywalker, Skywalker is a stepping stone.
Mm-hmm.
It just wants, one keep going. So I think that's something I tell a hooper. Like if you want to be a hooper, you gotta really keep going, fight the adversity, and never stop believing in yourself. Like believe in you, even when those around you aren't believing in you.
Mm-hmm.
And just bet on yourself. Listen to those that believe in you, not those that don't believe in you, because they'll steer you the wrong direction. But those that believe in you, they'll help you, pivot and believe in yourself and gain confidence. Um, you gotta really just watch a lot of film. I learned that the hard way. I didn't watch a lot of film in high school of myself. I
Mm-hmm.
watched it of other people, but not really myself. So critique yourself, watch your mistakes, and ask a lot of questions on the court. Ask a lot of questions. There ain't no wrong question to ask. Shoot. But if you want to be a businesswoman, I think, or like a saleswoman, learn the business side, like ask a lot of questions. Same. I think there's a lot of carryover from basketball
Mm-hmm.
that happens to like the business side or just working as an adult. There's a lot of characteristics that you can have. Sales, still be confident, but learn how to be inquisitive and ask the right questions in the business side. Whether it's about I don't know what it could be about, but just always even have like a notebook inside you and just like write questions down. I like to journal a lot, as I mentioned. So like just ask questions, do informational calls, not being afraid to say, hey, I'm Suzanne with the Minnesota Lynx. I'm interested in, being in this potential role one day. Can I do an information call 20 minutes or 20 to 30 minutes a day? Like doing those networking calls.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a big thing that I did. And my brother taught me a lot, like just, networking. That's the biggest thing. Like your social capital is going to lead you to where you need to go.
Mm.
People don't know about that, but networking is your biggest tool, biggest takeaway from me in undergrad and graduate school and to now is that I network a lot. I talk to people. I'm
Mm.
not afraid to be myself. I'm not afraid to put myself out there,
Mm.
throw myself in the sea and see what's gonna happen. I'm not afraid to just take the run and run with it, man. Never been that afraid. So my dad, he always told me not to talk to strangers, but I talk to every stranger I can see, cause they gonna get me where I need to go. I talk to them. I say, hey, how ya? My coworkers know too. They had me cracking up. They said, Suzanne talk to everybody. I sure do. Because she going to be my next fail. He going to be my next fail too. That's how I think about it, you know. They going to get me to where I need to go. The networking piece is going to get, man, I tell every person that I can like mentor or talk to is like networking. Networking. I have some of the greatest members with the Lynx
Mhm.
that I network with that have helped me interview for positions, that have helped me, you know, have hard conversations. So it's just a blessing. Like when you know that, when you start to believe that you can network and
Mhm.
build your portal of people and your board of trustees that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Like I don't have everybody on my board of trustees, but I have certain people that I really trust and that know my story, that know what I've been through, that know I'm not talking at the side of my mouth. I'm really doing the work
Mhm.
and the shadow work. And the shadow work is that deep down work. What I went through in 2020 wasn't easy, but it got to me where I need to go. So don't. One advice I tell them too is every step of the way is a reason that you're going through what you're going through, and you know don't question it. Don't question it when you're going through it. It's hard not to question it, but you know you just gotta keep going. I tell you, I can't tell you everything that I've been through in 2020 and past experience, but
Mhm.
I went through a lot of different battles, and I'm standing strong because of those battles.
Okay. Now you recently, I brought this up to you earlier. Um, I think you and your sister were at Washburn High School.
Yeah,
Um, and tell us what you were doing there.
it was a great opportunity. I had so much fun, and it was a pleasure and honor. So we spoke to Washburn Sawala, Washburn Athletic Leadership Academy.
Mm-hmm.
We spoke to 150 kids about excellence, and it was awesome because I got a chance to share how I went to Fridley High School, how I went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and had faced some barriers growing up.
Mm.
But through that experience, I didn't let it stop me. I still excelled.
Okay.
So you talk about excellence. Suzette, my twin sister,
Mm-hmm.
who's the CEO of the Journal, my business.
Okay.
So she's the CEO and the co-founder. We spoke about excellence, so that was really cool. Spoke for about 45 minutes, and she talked about how she knew ASL and
Mm-hmm.
she knew just a bunch of stuff, just impacting, just talking about what and how we can serve more youth in the community, but also how they can continue to believe in themselves and bet on themselves and um, never let one monkey stop the show.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Well, in our final minutes, if there's anything that you haven't been asked that you'd like to speak to our audience on, or about you, your experiences, past and present and future, if you wish to, just share any more nuggets of wisdom that you like to share to the audience.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think just looking at the camera right now, I can tear up a little bit because the journey is a journey, and just never stop um, living life, but flowing. And when you do get, hit a speed bump, don't let it stop you. Just keep going. And just something that I'm learning every day is take a deep breath. It's all right. It's gonna be okay. The end all, it's not the end all be all, but the start of something new and bigger. It's bigger than us. Something that I believe in is just like you have something you're representing, and if you can see, you can believe it, you can do it, and um, just constantly keep networking with people around you. Um, never stop being in the community, having a community centric behavior, attitude of gratitude and Thanksgiving. If that's how you move and you live, I think the
Mm-hmm.
river keeps flowing for you. So I thank you all for letting me be here. That's one thing I'm truly appreciative of. It's an honor to speak and share my story, but share my wisdom and I have a lot more to say. I'm hoping to be back on the radio here and share my story with someone maybe special, my sister Suzette, because she's really dope too. Two of us together is even greater. Like she's really amazing and has done some great things too. So yeah, I'm just appreciative of being here and just powerful. This is so powerful. When you take an opportunity, just run with it and keep allowing yourself to never stop learning. That's one thing I'm learning is take the opportunity and afterwards question it. But I think like take the opportunity. Never if it's a good opportunity you think you feel it in your heart, why not go for it? You know?
Well, want to thank you, Suzanne, for sharing that wisdom with us, and coming and having a conversation with us. This is Blacklight on Sports. I'm Dr. Mitchell Palmer-McDonald.
And I'm Charles Hallman, and thank you for being with us and read us in the newspaper as well.